阿 Jeff 咧作為一位外來人咧，能夠喺香港咧開展即係呢個咁有意義嘅人道工作咧，都令到我哋好敬佩。嗱，咁佢咧就嚟自加拿大啊。其實加拿大咧就由好多即係唔同嘅族群組成。
而我哋今日嘅被訪者咧，其實係一個有華裔血統嘅加拿大人，而且佢喺 Calgary 嗰度長大添。
哇！喂，講起 Calgary 咧，我就諗起真係好凍嘅呢個地方。不過咧，我哋今日位嘉賓咧，佢個心咧就好熱嘅嚇，佢對咧呢個兒童嘅工作咧係特別熱心嘅。咁佢咧係Angel for Children 嘅一位義工嚟嘅添。
哦
Anthony 呢位咧就係咧你想認識嘅 Wanda 啦。
係 ，Hello Wanda。
Hi Anthony。
係，咁咧我知道你係喺加拿大出生同埋成長㗎啦。咁點解會嚟咗香港嘅咧
Yes, so I grew up in Calgary, Alberta, and I grew up in a very traditional Chinese family. So because Calgary particularly it's a very Western environment that we grow up in, with very little Chinese influence. So my parents were very insistent on my brother and I learning Chinese heritage, tried to teach us the Chinese language. So when I was offered an opportunity when I was in my early 20s to come, I came thinking I would stay for 2 months. But Hong Kong is such an exciting place. Right. It's, the bright lights, so much to see, so much to do, that I ended up finding a job here in finance. And I met my husband here, and I now have 2 children that were born here.
Wanda 頭先你都講啦，你就喺呢個 finance 呢個領域嗰度工作啦。咁但係我亦都知後嚟你亦都投放好多時間喺一個組織叫 Angel for Children 嘅工作上面，就幫咗好多小朋友啊，特別係孤兒嘅。
咦，咁可唔可以講解一下其實 Angels for Children 係一個咩機構嚟嘅咧
？Angels for Children supports Paul and Cook in several different ways. We fund several of their programs, like extracurricular activities and some of their counseling programs, such as dancing classes, cooking classes, singing classes. We support them in finding training for them for netball, for rugby, and for the counseling we do support programs with financial planning, sexual education, and hope that these programs can enable the kids to find new skills, develop new talents, and to hopefully be able to integrate better into the society. Another way that we support Paul and Cook is with our annual Christmas gift donation drive, which we call Secret Santa. And every year, Paul and Cook will supply us with a wish list from the children and the teens, and then we reach out to the community and to our sponsors and donors to have them fulfill this wish list. So last year, we were able to donate over 200 gifts to the children.
Wanda 你喺 Calgary 長大啊，咁其實可唔可以介紹下你嘅家鄉啊？
So at first glance, Calgary seems really boring. It's very quiet, very peaceful, and compared to Hong Kong, the people move a lot slower. But when you're growing up there, there's a very, very big emphasis on sport. So we live about an hour's drive from the Rocky Mountains. So I grew up skiing. I went skiing almost every weekend, and we had the 1988 Olympics, yes. And we have a small ski hill that's in the city, and there is the ski jumps. And so you can, a lot of the kids that I grew up with would go practicing with their moguls, their ski jumping and everything, because they wanted to go to the Olympics. Yeah, it's quite unique. If you live there and you do go out and look for things to do, there's quite a bit to do. A much quieter existence than Hong Kong, but it's different.
同香港好唔同喎。
係啊，不過佢又雖然凍，但亦都好多戶外嘅活動喎。
係啊。
咁個加拿大點樣塑造咗你嘅價值觀咧？
I would say growing up in Calgary, there's a big emphasis on work-life family balance. I think that I've taken that into my adulthood, thinking, hard work is very important, but also to make sure that I have time and make time to spend with my kids, to spend as a family together, go on vacations, or just even go into a park, hike here. I think that's what I've really taken away from it.
咦，咁聽你咁講咧，其實 Calgary 同埋香港咧都好唔同喎，你點樣適應嘅咧？
So, yes, it is very different. Like I said earlier, it's so exciting here when I first came. And I think going into finance, I met a lot of friends. A lot of my clients became my friends as well. And so I find it is, unlike Canada, where you do have many nationalities, it becomes a bit of a melting pot. Everyone kind of trends in together and kind of meshes together. Here I find very distinct pockets of communities. And it's great because, the food is great here. And the international communities, the international events, international news. Here I find when I open a newspaper, I can see the news across the world.
Right.
If I have opened a newspaper in Calgary, it's predominantly local news and national news.
Right.
So it just seems so much, although Hong Kong is a smaller city as opposed to a large mass area country or
Right.
province, I find in Hong Kong, it feels so big because of all these different nationalities here.
阿 Wanda， 你可唔可以講一下咧？就係喺加拿大啦，同埋香港啦，啲細路仔對於細路仔嘅成長環境有咩唔同咧？
Very different. From a very early age, kids have to help out at home. We don't have domestic helpers or nannies to look after the kids or to take care of the household work. So often the children from even the age of 6 start helping to sweep the homes, hoover, wash dishes. They start to, learn to take out the rubbish.
Right.
So in that sense, there's a lot more value that they learn of hard work, the value of $1, and also the parameters which surround working for someone. What time do I have to get to work? What time can I finish? Don't be lazy at work, otherwise you'd lose your job. Here in Hong Kong, it's very different because there's a lot of academic pressure on the students. So after school, they probably go to tuition. They have a lot of homework. They have a lot of exam-based assessments. And they seem to progress in their academics a lot earlier and quicker. In this sense, it's not one way is better than the other, but it's definitely, you can see the difference in how the kids, when they reach university, have to handle their life situations.
阿 Wanda， 你都參加咗 Angels for Children 一段時間啦，咁可唔可以講一個最難忘嘅經歷俾我哋聽下咧？
I would say the most memorable thing that I've taken away from Angels for Children are the people that I work with, the people that we volunteer with. We all volunteer. We don't get paid. We don't take any costs out of it. So it is like-minded people with similar views, similar values, the same compassion to help people, and getting together for this organization. And because of that, we've become very good friends. Some have left for other countries already, and we still keep in touch. Recently, we had another Angels fundraising event called Active Angels 4-Week Move-a-thon, and it was a virtual event. So participants would join in, and we tried to collectively walk, hike, skip, run. We wanted to travel enough distance to travel from Hong Kong to Sunrise, Cambodia, to Bali, kids, back to Hong Kong, because those were the areas in which we support the charities that we support. So it was a really successful event, and most of the angels that have left participated where they were. Some were in Australia with their families, walking and swimming. Others were in the UK, in Canada. So I think that community is still very, very strong between us.
哇！真係咧，完全係體現咧助人為快樂之本啊
係
！Anthony，
好有意義。
我哋都要參加啊！
好啊，
阿 Wanda 真係好多謝你今日咧接受我哋訪問啦，同埋同我哋分享咗咁多嘅故事啊！
多謝晒啊！其實我哋兩個咧都有興趣做 Angel 喎。
係啊係啊，
唔知夠唔夠資格啊？但係
You definitely have the ability to be an angel.
Thank you.
Thank you for having me. So the people of Hong Kong have always been resilient, support each other, remember to help each other. Kindness matters. You can be the difference because to the world you might be one person, but to one person you might be the world.
Anthony 啊，嗱，我哋做完呢一集咧就已經結束呢個特輯㗎啦。
係喎，話時話我哋已經拍咗12集，即係介紹咗12個族群俾大家認識。我自己都學咗好多嘢。
係啊，我都係啊。不過咧喺香港咧就唔淨止啲12個族群嘅，聽聞有成100幾200個咁多嘅。
100幾200個？
係啊，咁希望日後有機會咧可以繼續介紹多啲嘅族群啦。咁喺呢一度我哋不如講聲
後會有期啦。
想睇更多精彩嘅內容，快啲下載有線 OTT App 啦！